Why do I keep forgetting the sound? Outrageous. I guess it's a good thing because every time the show first starts, the first thing I do is confess all my crimes. Um, so yeah, I was saying how I'm getting a hum from this amp, and I was looking at amps today. Today was a music day. I was looking at amps, and they're like $400, which is actually they're like 399. The one that I liked was $800. So I'm like, God damn it. Uh, I'm gonna end up buying it somewhere around summer though, but not now. Uh, this whole weekend I've been putting together pedals, which is just advanced guitar shit, right? Been trying to find where all my chords are. Um, oh, what is the title? Infinite Saturdays. Yeah, the title is because I was supposed to have numbered the shows, but I fell into like a guitar pit. I bought this pedal, like I told you, and then it came today, but then there was no adapter, right? It's a looper, so I had to run and get an adapter, which prompted me to play around in there and buy another pedal. Meanwhile, the the pedals that I actually ordered, I ordered four of them. They're supposed to be here today with a rig, and none of that's come with a battery. So yeah, my week of music was fairly huge. Um, I'm sort of in the middle of moving stuff around so I can stand right here, but I don't even get work done because I'm just fiddling around with musical stuff. I have to do my fucking taxes. I'm pretty sure the IRS people are not going to give a fuck about me trying to see. I was trying to put together this rig, right? And I had a tuner, and then I had a wah wah pedal, and the tuner had to go first. But then my friend told me reverb goes after modulation, and it was an all day affair. And then I had to find they're not gonna they're not gonna care. So I better get my freaking shit together before I fall. I get obsessed with things, never people, but with things. So I get obsession. I get it. I get people who get obsessed with stuff and they become hoarders. They never throw things away. I get people who get obsessed with people, um, and that's not good. Stalking, right? The best love affair, by the way, which is just dangerous to everybody else, is like a stalking relationship where you both stalk each other because then you both want each other. But now the problem becomes everybody else around you becomes your issue, right? It's a very Romeo and Juliet on fucking steroids kind of thing. And if you think about humanity, it has to happen somewhere, right? There's been a lot of us on the planet, and yeah. So I could actually string this together now and plug it into an outlet. But I figured I would do all this. Let's cut this off. I figured I would do all this later, and then as I was doing it, I was like, man, it's not an expensive rig. The thing that they call it a rig, I'm getting into the lingo. The thing about the pedals is I was online and they were like, oh yeah, build a pedal for $100. So two things happened. One, a guy that I follow online who teaches guitar, he was like, oh, you got to get a looper that way you can play with yourself, right? You can throw down some chords, bing, boom, 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 and then have that on the loop, and then you can arpeggio over the chords. Oh wow, okay. I was like, that makes sense, right? I get to practice my looping and my timing and maybe a little building of musicality, right? How much are these things? I'm thinking they're $400. I'm looking some are 180, some are 250, some are $25. $25. I'm like $25, so I ordered three of them. Um, but to get the first guy, he was like, yeah, I mean, clean sound is great when you're learning, but as you really get into it, and you have to get all these effects right, and you find the ones that you like, And so I was like, oh, this is why every guitar on radio sounds right because it's all run through something. So Billy, so Jimi Hendrix, right, with the wah wah pedals and the distortion and the reverb and the delays, right? You're like, oh, reverb, delays, amplify, oh, wow, oh. So then you go looking for this. You're like, it's gonna take $1,000 to get it. Like some people have 5 pedals, minimum seem to be about 6, and some people have 20, right? Some people have like 4, and some people have like 20. But the minimum should be about 8. It looks to be about like 6 to 8. Looked at my homie's rig. He's got like 12. I put together stuff off the top of my head. I had 6. Just brand new, doing what people told me. I had 6. I was like, huh. Uh, but before I put together, I was like, all this money. Look at you can build a rig for under $100, including the plate that you stick everything on, so it doesn't slide around the floor when you step on it. Because music, right? These buttons are supposed to be on the floor, and you step on them, right? You just stomp on them. And I was like, really, $100 with, and there, some people had 4. It was a challenge, right? Some people had four with a like a case to carry it around in, so you could like gig in the park or go to a concert. And some people had 6, right? And they bought their pedals used. Some people bought them new. Some people bought the little ones and got like a better battery. I was like $100. Oh, I'm totally in. So that's what I've been doing for like the last 4 days. Just kind of straight running at this for 4 days. I fully expect to have it done by I want to have it done by the first, but some stuff isn't gonna arrive to like the 6th. So the second batch of stuff, first batch of stuff comes today. I bought some things today. Second batch comes tomorrow, and the last batch comes the second, which will be a day after. We start the third month of the first quarter, which means we're gonna try and get some gaming up in here. That's gonna be interesting, but it's gonna happen. Um, I have to better portion out my days. I can't fall into these 12-hour guitar holes, right? Because then I burn out and I have all this shit and I won't want to play guitar anymore. Um, but then again, I stream almost every day. I burn out? I don't think I burned out. I slowed down considerably. Well, considerably. I wouldn't say I slowed down a lot. I still give about 20 streams a month, right? Easily 20 to 25 streams a month. Um, are, are there still even Radio Shacks? I don't think so. I think instead we have guitar centers, and if you want electronics, you go to Walmart for cheap electronics, right? Everybody's got an imprint. Walmart has an imprint, or you buy from Amazon, which has that Amazon imprint. See that? I'm also trying not to blow it in my coffee over here. Huh? All right, so let's put this. Oh, well, hold it. Ugh, almost fell over the chair. So let's put this over here in a place outside of the room. Let's put this right here. Woo! All right. Someone's in my hallway yelling. Everybody, hold on. I may have to call the police. Yeah, that's some domestic nonsense. Yeah, I don't. I wonder if you guys can hear it. It's going on for a while. Someone's gonna call the cops. It's very human. I get it. People have kids, and then the kids' fathers have to deal with the new man in the life of the woman, and sometimes the woman is mad about the new woman in the life of the man. It's all this weird energy, but it strikes itself to ridiculousness. Anyway, my whole thing was the guitars today, and then that happens because it is what it is. Um, got this cool delay pedal, pink, bright. I cannot wait to turn this in. And even as some of them take batteries, there's a battery in here. There's a battery not plugged in, but there's a battery. Ooh. So some of them take batteries. Yeah, man, this is how you have a midlife crisis, people. William, you still in the chat? I hope you're still in the chat. All right. I'm gonna have to call the police on that. Nick Cannon is with Red. Wow, Radio. Well, maybe it's that Radio Shack was huge a million years ago, and then it almost went out of bankruptcy, and then maybe instead of having like I don't know 1,000 stores or whatever it might be, 500 stores, whatever. Now maybe they have like 25 or 30. Lynn Haven Mall. Oh my gosh. Did you hear that? He stormed out and said, and I heard him, and I quote, I want to be a witness at this murder trial. Fuck you, motherfucker. I got something for your ass. That's just problematic. This is what happens, man. You just can't look. I blame women for this a lot of times, and women go, "That's sexist." But at the end of the day, you know, don't expect men not to be attached to these children, right? And then you get other people involved, like new boyfriends. I'm not saying not date anybody, but then you have this animus. I mean, choose better. That way, at least if you break up, you're both cool and can work out with it. Well, you can. And no, I don't like your girlfriend, but that's all right. There's no. It does. It doesn't need to get to bullshit drama. Um, but this is some of the other stuff that, like, I talk about in the culture about among black people, and people are offended by it because it is so what they know that they're like, you're judging me. I'm gonna have to call the cops. All right. Oh my god, it's none of my business. Why am I calling the cops? Here we go. All right, I may actually have to call the police. We may have to end this because somebody may get killed in my lobby. Um, give me a second. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna put you guys on mute. Solved. solved for now anyway. All right. I need to mind my business. All these young dudes, they're all emotional fucking batteries. They're just exhausting. Everything is drama. Everything is drama. Yeah. So let's talk politics, right? That was a weird 15 minutes. So we went in. We started off. Excuse me. We started off muted while I was talking about music. Then we unmuted. I'm gonna have to write a thing and stick it right on that camera. A small checklist. I'm gonna do that today. Uh, it was a good day. It was a good day. Like I said, I got two pedals, a looper, twin looper. I could put up two loops and play. That's three things. I could put up two loops of guitar and play the conga drum or the flute or something. So now I've got musical possibilities, right? I've got a delay, which is just rock and roll awesome. And I know the fretboard. I know the fretboard. And I know how to make melody because I've been studying it for 8 months at like 4 to 5 hours a day. Oh my goodness. So it's gonna be fun. I got a homie who knows this stuff. He's gonna uh, uh, walk me through it, I guess. I want to say walk me through it. Uh, because he knows it. So I sort of have a Zen uh master instructor like the martial arts movies. I get to be I get to wander around and playing music. It's gonna be fun. Um, that was me in my vain day. It was totally a selfish endeavor. This is the kind of thing I tell you guys that you should do on your weekends, right? It's not a bash and a hide from work, and watch TV and zone out. I mean, just fall into something. I went to two music stores today. I went to my local Alpha, and I went to Guitar Center. I'm not really a giant fan of Guitar Center, but I'm also not really a giant fan of my local either. Yeah, that's all city property. You don't get to keep that stuff. You only get to keep the gun. Kiev on heightened alert as Russian forces close in on all sides. Ugh, Putin shunned by the world as his hopes of quick victory evaporate. You look, man, don't get it twisted. This shit can become a quagmire. The whole population is in a fuck you mode. Once you lock it down and say this is ours now, begins the insurgency. When you want to walk from point A to point B. They used to honeypot the Nazis, all these cute French girls going, oh, because some were collaborating, right? And then they get the pretty girl, they take her to a place and she poison them or kill them or do whatever. So then they had to watch all the ladies coming through, right? And they would take the ladies to the security thing, so they couldn't do that much of that. But they were wiping these guys out, right? With hot erections. Some would just kind of like sleep with them, and then when they went to sleep, steal all the stuff. Others would just kill them. So I mean, sex as a weapon is a legit uh, tactic. I want to say, yeah. And then you got the Americans and the Europeans who are going to be helping them out. See, this is what happened. You didn't do anything about Vladimir Putin. You didn't do anything about him when he invaded uh, uh, Chechnya, right? And Donetsk. You didn't do anything about it. And he's been there for about 5 to 10 years. And now he's making the big push going, y'all didn't do anything before. What is the drama? It's what Hitler did, right? Hitler was like, Poland, 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 Poland. Whoop, slip on into Poland. And everybody was like, all right, look, man, just stop right there. Just don't even anymore. Just chill. And then he was like, Yugoslavia? Little Yugoslavia actually go down over here? Then he slid into Yugoslavia. And Caps was like, you know what? Maybe if we go talk to him, he'll be nice. And then they sent Neville Chamberlain over there. And Neville Chamberlain came back waving that piece of paper saying armistice or whatever. Uh, no war in Europe kind of thing. And the next day, he invaded someplace else. and then it was on. Look, uh, this whole thing is so now I think everybody's like, oh, and I say this all the time on this show, which needs a name and a regular hour and a desk if we're gonna do it, and written writing shit. I'm looking at you, William. You're the executive producer from here on out. Um, yeah, I mean we've been watching insurgencies since the first Bush conflict, since the first Gulf War, burning Bush. It was all very biblical. It really was. People were reading into stuff. Oh, so yeah, end of the world. Here's the problem with end of the world prophecies from a desert people who have no technology that were not given them to them from the West. How you gonna do that again? Floods? Okay. Fire? Okay. Right? Oh no, those are all metaphors. Oh, so the book is either metaphors, because I know people say the book is actual factuals. So whenever you're talking to me, what do you want me to believe? Right? I believe that the book is uh, a path to moral turpitude, right? Versus a book of miracles. Like, if you read it that way, you what are you expected to be able to do the miracles? A lot of these people reading this book are just pointing their finger at you, telling you what you should do as they collect a ton of cash. So I don't even know. Um, so the second guy just left. But this is a bullshit. Here, this is tactically not smart. If the first guy threatens your life, then he storms out and drives away. Don't stay where you are without a gun, unless you live there. Yeah. And this is Virginia. In New York, if you flash a gun at me and I had a gun, you'd get shot because I'm not waiting for you to take the whole thing out, and I'd be justified under the law. Here in Virginia, where everybody has a gun and there's an open carry, and you can see it, as soon as I see you do this and I shoot you, that's perfectly legitimate. I don't have to wait for you to point it at. And I mean, these laws, these laws don't make any sense, right? With the history of this place, these laws don't make any sense. Because the first thing is going to happen is the unfair court system, right? You'll be right as rain, and it had better be on tape, on camera. Do I like my chances? I used to. I was well trained back then. I told you I fall into shit like this. I fell into that manual. I knew exactly what the stop and shoot and the first policy was, and all of that. All of that. That was a million years ago. Uh, what do I know now? I don't know anything. I'm just good looking. All right. Not for a Trump defender. Oh, I missed that. What's the context, William? So yeah, I get called being a Trump defender a lot. Here's my thing: I see the bad thing happen and I don't like it, and then when I see the Democrats do the bad thing and I call it out, people go shut up, right? So you'll call out Donald Trump and his Russian prostitution, how dare you? But then everybody goes silent on all the stuff about Bill Clinton. I'm like, it's the same thing. You can't scream, murder that guy murder, he's horrible, he's a murderer, and then you have on your side a murderer, and you're going right. So when I go, but so and so's a murderer, I get a lot of blowback because I'm considered not a team player, and this is why the place is a shit show. I don't want to win. I want to solve the problems, right? But they'll tell you, well, in order to solve the problem, you got to win first. But then they get there, then they don't do anything. We talked about AOC a ton of times, right? She won. Now to stay there, she had to play their game. So in order for her to truly win, she has to get if you know anything about Dungeons and Dragons, you don't even have to know Dungeons. If you know about movies, right? You have to gather your party and go into the mouth of the beast, right, which is Congress, and slay the dragon, And first there are little bosses, right? Speaker of the House, uh, so and so pro tem, lobbyist, blah 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 blah, and then you have to cut the head off the biggest one, and that's likely not the president, right? It's likely some behind the scenes money person who's pulling the fucking strings. You have to unmask him and cut his fucking head off, and I don't mean literally cut his fucking head off. Just like the Congress is not a fucking dungeon, right? So, but I mean, you have to sever, and you can do that several ways. You can expose him, or you can, and the people can lose faith in him, like they did with McCarthy, right? Um, or you can. Do I have to? I do have it on. Give me a second. Oops, sorry about that. Right, you can expose him like they did. Mm, Andrew McCarthy. No, Andrew McCarthy is an actor, not John McCarthy. What is his name? Senator George McCarthy. Senator McCarthy. Oh man, my memory is just it. I just need to read more. That's what happens. I might read Shogun. I have a giant book over here, about 900 pages, called Shogun. That's going to be a good read. But I wanted to read you something. Here it is, right here. An epic tale. My homie told me to read this book. He lent it to me. I forgot that I took it with me. It's called Taiko. Look at this thing. It's a monster, right? And I love books like this where in the beginning they give you a map, right? So you can every time a character is someplace, he's got to go someplace. You can look it up, see where he is, and you sort of get this layout of all the characters across a landscape and what they're doing and where they're going. It's a pretty nice picture. Well, it used to be a pretty nice picture in the mind's eye. 585, 751, 926 pages. Let's read the In the tumultuous closing decades of the 16th century, the Empire of Japan writhed in chaos as the shogunate crumbled and rival warlords battled for supremacy. Warrior monks in their armed, yeah, this is right up my alley. Warrior monks in their armed citadels blocked the road to the capital. Castles are destroyed, villages plundered, fields put to torch. Amidst this devastation, three men dream of uniting the nation. And there you have it. And then the story just kicks off. And yes, thank you, Eugene McCarthy. Um, yeah, this book needs to be read. You know, I'll read you the back blurb. These are all. I like it. I like it. I like it a lot. Eiji Yoshikawa was born in 1892 near Tokyo. Beginning his literary career at the age of 22, he continued to work as a journalist while writing novels that reached a large and appreciative readership. At the time of his death in 1962, he was one of Japan's most popular and best loved novelists. William Scott Wilson, the translator, excuse me, William Scott Wilson, the translator, was born in Nashville in 1944. He now lives and works in Miami. You know how many people I knew who were interpreters or would translate books from languages who were never from major cities? I would say all of them. I think I probably met like 6 or 7 of them, right? And they were all from places like Podunk, Georgia, uh, Hill Mountain, nowhere, Tennessee, so and so, nowhere, Washington, this place, Montana. I'm like, really? Unless I bet more than that, but unless, and I'm talking about Americans, generally white people. Um, but a few of the other people I met, it was their second language, so they got translator gigs. But I'm talking about people who just kind of picked it up. I know a girl who went studied in Japan. She learned to speak Japanese in school, and I was like, who does that? Apparently, a lot of people. If I was smarter, maybe I would have done that. Hold it up. Give me one more second. I just want to get one quick look. Hey, it didn't come yet. So, We're still looking for it. Still waiting on it. It didn't come yet. They said 10 o'clock. What time is it? It's 10 after 7. Okay. All right, man. This yeah, the Eugene McCarthy. Joseph no, it's Joseph McCarthy. The Eugene McCarthy. Who's Eugene McCarthy? Joseph McCarthy. Not for Trump defenders. Two, will we see video games Russia against the Ukraine? Whenever I play war games, I'm always the Americans. Giant fucking flag, right? I know, I know. People, I've had people tell me, call it jingoism, and I'll say, well, you can call it that. I'd call it patriotism, right? Uh, and the people who tell me that love to go to Europe, spend money in Europe, talk about Paris and cheese, right? Can't wait to fly 2 flags. But when I go, no, I'm just flying that one. Rah rah America. All of a sudden, it's so yeah, you get a lot of that. Eugene ran for president. Eugene McCarthy. Who's Eugene McCarthy? Why do I not know this name? Eugene. Eugene is a great name, by the way. Former U.S. Senator Eugene McCarthy, 1966. Senator Missouri. Why don't I know about him? 16 President McCarthy. Kennedy was assassinated at the 16th Democratic National Convention. Oh yeah, okay, I do know him. I know him roughly or loosely, but I was talking about Joseph. And here's the thing. Yeah, you unmask Joe McCarthy, but then the people like him just learn a lesson from that and they stay around longer. Tierney Elizabeth McCarthy died at 57. Walter Reed. Really? He died in 1957. Huh. What did he die of? Legacy death. McCarthy died in Bethesda Hospital on May 2nd at the age of 48. His death certificate lists the cause of death was hepatitis. Hepatitis? Cause unknown. What? This is suspicious as fuck. Hold on. He was 48 years old. He had been a senator since he was 38. He caused a lot of kerfuffle, let's just say. But then he died of hepatitis? Hepatitis kills you? I guess it does. It makes you, it thins your liver, right? It fucks with your liver. Hepatitis means inflammation of the liver. The liver is a vital organ and processes nutrients, filters the blood, and fights infection. When the liver is inflamed or damaged, its function can be affected. Heavy alcohol use, toxins, ooh, heavy alcohol use, toxins, some medications, and certain medical conditions can cause hepatitis. Hepatitis B, a serious liver infection caused by the hepatitis. Hepatitis C, an infection caused by a virus that attacks the liver and leads to inflammation. Alcoholic hepatitis, liver inflammation caused by drinking too much. Autoimmune hepatitis, inflammation in the liver that occurs when the immune system attacks the liver. Hepatitis D, a serious liver disease caused by infection with the hepatitis D virus. So hepatitis D is a hepatitis D virus. Why don't you just all right? Highly contagious liver infection with hepatitis A. Highly affected. Okay, so D, A, and E uh, is just highly infectious, something or other. But B is a liver infection. Doesn't say why. The bottom three is serious liver infection, highly contagious liver infection, a liver disease. A liver. How you can get a disease, but it's not be contagious. All right. And one is contagious, highly contagious, hepatitis A. How would you get that? Water, I guess pooping around places like malaria will give you that, right? Alcohol hepatitis, that's drinking too much. Autoimmune is something when something your system attacks your liver, like it attacks your bones or whatever. All right, serious liver infection caused by hepatitis B. Which one can you get from kissing and banging everybody? Hepatitis T is hepatitis T and STD. Hepatitis B, a serious liver infection caused by hepatitis B virus that easily prevented by vaccine, right? Hepatitis B is a virus found in infected blood, semen, and vaginal fluid. It's sexually transmitted infection. Ugh. That can be passed on through unprotected sex. You can also get it from contaminated needles and syringes. All right, I don't do needles, I don't do syringes, and I don't do hepatitis B's. Um, it happens. I mean, it's sex, right? So a lot of people you know is gonna have it. Eugene ran for president. That's the thing, right? For every president, there's a whole bunch of people who ran and didn't place, and one who was the opposition and didn't win. So you begin to forget them unless they're standouts. So you'll remember what's the guy with the big ears? Ross Perot, right? You'll remember because he was a sort of a spoiler. Uh, who was the one? Ross Perot was with Bill Clinton. Who was the spoiler with not Quail? Who was the spoiler with Al Gore? It was Al Gore, George Bush, and Ralph Nader, right? Uh, Spoiler. So you remember those two. Mm. I don't even know what to tell you. Let's get back to the news. Why are we looking up hepatitis? Oh, because Joseph, what's his name? So he probably died of a sexually transmitted disease that he got, hepatitis, that he got in the war, right? This is not 1957, 10 years about after World War II, right? He'd have been 35 when he got elected, 48 when he got elected, and 10 years before that the war was going on. He'd have been 28. He'd have been, yeah. And he was in Europe, and the girls were very happy to see American soldiers. And why wouldn't you be? The Nazis were raping you, right? The American soldiers come through. They're our allies. Some people fell in love, right? Because in these times where people fall in love, what is it? Hard times, tough times, uh, mononucleosis. Ooh, McCarthy. Yeah. Um. Yeah, they let him hang himself. But it almost sounded like the government bumped him off for trying to be. But yeah, the government. These are all the. Not to say that the government hasn't done some of them. I think the government absolutely polished off Paul Wellstone. All right. And also, what was the black congressman that died in a plane crash in the 70s? Uh, and we know that the government polished off Dr. King. We know that they knew Malcolm X was going to be assassinated, and they abated it, aided it. So this is where we are. This is where we are. The great nation of America. Yee-hoo. People are showing a lot of these Ukrainian kind of like people catching soldiers and driving by tanks and doing other. But there's also actual like people aren't showing you like the actual war. There's and by the way, good lord, if you and the tanks are running out of gas. So if you see a tank that runs out of gas, the first thing you need to do is call whoever the military is to get them because they're enemy soldiers standing on the side of the road waiting for gas, leaning on a tank. What's wrong with people? Oh my God, what's wrong with people? Oh, the goofy and stupidness that is allowed to happen. I think America, not America, but I think generally the population in the West has been made stupid so they can be led by these weak people, right? Because we're squishy. I think the serious people they deal with, but the rest of us are squishy. Uh, I'm squishy too. I'm not saying you're squishy and I'm fine. I'm saying we're all squishy. Thank you, Ron Brown. Man, you are on your game, William. William Conway came up with the answer. It's Ron Brown who died in a plane crash. He was being investigated for some stuff too. Max Chemerkovsky calls Russian cargo ships seized in the English Channel. See, there's gonna be a lot of like the West grabbing up Russian products and stopping people from going here. Look, I don't see why any of all these platforms hasn't locked Russia out of its thing, right? They all should. They all should. All the Russian person, all the Russian military, all the Russian government, they all have Facebook and YouTube accounts. It should all instantly be shut down. But here's the thing: why you don't want to do that? You want to stay in that country after this is over. You don't want to take any sides, and you want to make money. Plus, they have XYZ million citizens there, and we don't want to. So, but if we're gone, someone else would just open up an internet service there and take those clients because money, 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 money. I tell you, I said it before. The amount of people who should be sitting in fucking prison who are in American government and in American corporations for treasonous bullshit is high. It's a big number. Oh my god. Yeah, you know what to do. You won't do it. But I sit up here and I go, I have questions about this fucking virus, and I'll be banned immediately. These are power plays, and we are people without power. So we can see what's going on. They don't care if we can see what's going on. You have no power to affect change. Did I thank you, William, for your kind donation? Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Really appreciate that, man. Do are we gonna? That's a good question. Should we play? I don't know much about the Russian Ukraine. We could we could play. Uh, I have several medieval games. I have Bannerlord, which I love. Europa Universalis 4, which I can be a king of any. Oh, and I have Crusader Kings, right? So I could be a Crusader King, King of Africa, right? You know, but I think we might do. My homie wants me to jump in and play Baldur's Gate. We might do that. We're gonna. I've decided to do a couple of things. I've decided to stop getting up at 6 in the morning, and then running my day, and because I used to get up late and then stay up late. I was trying to be a little more, but if I'm gonna do this to swing this later, I'm gonna try and tilt my whole day by 90 minutes, right? So if I can get up at like 7:30 rather than 6, get up at like 7:30, uh, all of this should fall into place. By the time I should begin to get tired and not want to do a show, I should have done the show and it should have been over, and I should still be in bed before 10 because I'm not as young as I used to be. And if I remember correctly, when I started my exercise regimen, I was tired a lot. Uh, yeah, so we're gonna start that. We're gonna get crunky with the funkiness, and I can plug this into my computer, right? Uh, and download different sounds on it. Yeah, I know, man. I'm a little over my head. This is a little more advanced than I should have gotten. But like I said, when I read that thing and it was like, you can make one of these things for $100, I was like, $100? I would be derelict if I did not attempt to swag out my whole for shizzle. I don't even know what that means. Um, but I will tell you this though. I was in the guitar shop. They were like, "What do you like to play?" I was like, "I don't know. I'm too old. I'm too old to shred, right?" So I was trying to do this slow, slow, slow. Uh, so much fun though. All right. Anyway, I really, instead of putting together this pedal board, I need to do way more exercises to kind of get dexterity. Uh, and I guess I should really just learn something. I look at these etudes, which are study pieces, and they're all written like the 1600s by like guides for piano, some for guitar. Get your etudes in A and C and all this stuff. And I was reading this thing, and most people know chords, right? They know the major chords, they know the pentatonic, and that's all the chords they know. Not that's all the scales they know. And I was like, yeah, I have a book over here. Must have about 500 scales in it. And I was like, most people only know two scales and modes. Guitar grimoire, scales and modes. Scales and modes. Look at all these scales. These aren't the scales. These aren't the scales. These are the scales. These are the scales. Look at these scales. Who could possibly know all these scales? C sharp, D flat, Lorien, A. Look at this. Look, they go on for friggin' ever. Right? Oh my god. Ooh. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. Do I want to delete? Hold on. Do, do, do. I'll do this later. I'm playing with stuff now. All right. We got a half an hour. We are not done. We didn't actually give us an honest, good run at the politics. So let's do that. Uh, and also, man, let's be clear. People are fucking dying in that city, right? They talk about that boy that died in the explosion. They showed that woman, her face cut up by shrapnel. My house is destroyed. There was that woman anchor on TV talking about her apartment block was blown the fuck up. And she was sort of saying the story, but she was sort of had like sort of pain in her voice because some of the people that her neighbors were dead. She didn't know where they were, right? She lived on the floor, but yeah. And she was on the news talking about it's like if your weather lady came on and was like, uh, yeah, the flood is horrible, and I just saw my mom and dad's house, and I can't reach them. I don't know where they're at. You'd be like, oh my god, it's the same kind of intensity, and people want to sort of revel in this misery, like sell you front row seats to this disaster. It could be here. I'm telling you, people are unhappy here. Those people who rushed in January last year, they wanted to hang people, right? They really do think it's the 1700s and they can do shit like that. Better chase these people and find them. Look, overthrowing your nation is serious business. You know, it's an all-in proposition. Good lord, look at this. Do I want to do it like this? Maybe that'll do it better. It's an all-in proposition. Um, and if you fail, you know, your head on the sick is the least you should expect. You should not expect to go back home. I think America justice system only concentrates on black people. I think those white people who ran up in to the Capitol January 6th got off lucky. People got 5 years and 6 month sentences and all that. That is an outrage, especially the things you were saying and the text you were. Everybody should be getting 15-year sentences. It's so wild. It's so wild that you would do that. Anyway, I remember watching it sitting on the couch like this. I, I I had moments in my life where I sat down on the couch and watched something like the OJ. I was like, "What?" Watched it. I was on the couch, sat down and watched the Challenger explosion. I was like, "What?" You know, I sat down on the couch. I watched these people storm, fight with the cops, and break the front glass and rush into the building. And I was just kind of like, now I didn't think, oh, this is the end of America. Oh, cool revolution. Who's my leader? Who can I still? I know because I knew though it was. I wasn't gonna listen to him. right? And I'm pretty sure the American military joint chiefs weren't going to be like, "We salute you, Joe, the freaking electrician for it." No, no, no. The first in the military is going to be like the military general is going to be like, "I'm not listening to you. I'm a fucking general." You know what you would have to do? You would have to beat them in combat. Which means there's a revolution, right? You know who ran Poland? Lech Walesa. You know who he was? A dock worker. He pulled all the support of all the people. They threw him in jail. The people insisted he be let out. The world insisted he be let out. He eventually ran for office and won the presidency and won it multiple times. He was so beloved, right? Those generals, when when he began to get on this pull, had to face a question, and that's what happens, right? He didn't just go, "I'm in charge because I'm a dock worker," and they were like, "Sure, we're." He won the love and loyalty of his fellow citizens, and those generals and people in Congo and all those people who was trying to began to look like they were the bad. Well, they began. They were just a bad guy, right? So those guys who run in there had done some grand shit and walk in like conquering and the fighting men of the nation, the American military, has to be like, okay, you guys are. We acknowledge that you guys are it, versus where we're gonna be, secondary to you Dinglehoffers. Ugh, Sean Penn's an idiot. I'm really so tired of these hipster Hollywood people. Um, there will be a excuse me, there will be a Sunday service tomorrow. Absolutely, absolutely. Uh, 11. We're gonna do 10. We're gonna do 10 anyway. We wanted to move it back to 11, but we're gonna do 10 tomorrow. We're gonna shift the whole thing, like I said, 90 minutes on the front end, so we can get some cool background action on the back end. Uh, then there's the fine art of pedaling, pedaling, loop. I don't even know which goes first, looper or delay. That's the second delay I actually bought before I even got the kit. That thing is supposed to be here today before 10, and it's 7:30. I'm so excited. Oh my goodness. I feel like a boy getting a bike on Christmas. Um, let's get into it. So, we don't have much to get into here. It's everybody's talking about the Ukraine. We talked about it. Uh, watch missile slam into airport as invasion of Ukraine begins. A missile. I mean, they're just firing missiles randomly. And this another thing. The internet is debunking Russian war propaganda in real time. That's the thing. That's what we said yesterday, right? These cold warriors sitting here telling you shit like nobody's got the internet anymore and can easily go, that's not right. Like Vladimir Putin said he's going into Ukraine to stop the Nazis. And everybody was like, Nazis? You know what I mean? It's like it's like what was on Joe Biden's bus when he ran for president? The straight talk, the no malarkey. What was it? The no malarkey. And people were like, malarkey? He had to take that shit off because this wasn't 1950. And he's in the same place telling you these Cold War KGB lies like nobody can look around and be like, what are you talking about, man? Right? Your people don't want this war. The Ukrainians obviously don't want this war. Russia has all Russia. Not Russia. Europe has always been a powder keg. Russia does nothing but war with each other. I mean, not since the end of World War II. And that, my dear friends, has not even been 100 years. So if we're keeping records, and we keep records, uh, how many years has Russia have stop saying Russia? How many years has Europe been aflame? I would say the majority of the last 1,000. I would say that. I think they're used to warring with each other. It's all they know how to do, right? But they want some of this new fangled swag, so they calm down a bit. But I think their natural inclination is to disagree and be dark to each other. And I think that's in the people. I'm just gonna get into some trouble here because some of those people came here to America, um, and I think some of that treatment was displayed on people. But I think it's a paranoia of they I gotta do this before they do this to me kind of thing. Uh, Stop playing with the pedals. Stop playing with the pedals. I should if I'm gonna do it, I should play one. I should put it down here and just do this. Ooh, okay. I'm not gonna be able to do this in my socks. I see people doing this in their socks all the time. Wow. How loud this is. Versus this one. This almost sounds broken. Wow. All right. Anyway, I'm sorry about that. Um, Man, it is what it is. War is every place. And of course, you want the war to stop, but the people in charge need to tell you how the money that they spend on all this military swag is important. Because anybody could come and invade. Then a lot of there's all of a sudden there's a ton of celebrity shit in my feed. It's almost like they don't want to tell me their version of the news so I can debunk it. What life is like in America that surprised the world. Yeah. Ashton Kutcher tweets support for the Ukraine. Look, man, supporting people from your giant house as you do nothing is a dead stick. Uh, Sean Penn in the Ukraine film a documentary on Russian invasion. He's an idiot. They should capture him. How the Ukraine conflict could redraw the world air map. KLM orders two fights to Russia to turn around. Yeah, you should just box them out. Ukrainian ultranationalists asking for donations to fund war effort. People making money off war. The defense of Kiev has started. The black home ownership rate is now lower than it was a decade ago. We keep losing. We keep losing ground while people are talking all this nonsense about progress. And then they put that one black girlfriend in here and they go, hey, look, progress. They put a black show on Netflix and go, hey, look, progress. None of that has anything to do with what the movement was about. It really is just amazing. Um, but I don't care anymore. I'm a guitarist. I'm a musician. I am trying to come up with a theme for my first song. If you got, excuse me, excuse me. If you got a, excuse me. If you got a theme for me, let me know. I need a theme for a song. Uh, as I work on my scales. Russia tells Turkey it's ready to work with a constructive force on the Ukraine. Russia tells Turkey it is ready to work with constructive forces on Ukraine. Yeah, you're gonna tell your only allies this. No one cares what fucking Turkey does, right? Turkey's sort of in the same boat as you. There's a lot of countries the West made rich and it shouldn't have, and Turkey is one of them. All these authoritarian states that you allow, you know. So, oh, good lord, I don't even know what's going on. Solo protesters are opposing the war alone, together, all over Russia. So all these people are by themselves protesting like with their own placard, but so many people are doing it. They're essentially together. I see what you did there. Good job. I mean, it's hard to go out there and do that by yourself. It's one thing to go, hey, let's all go protest in a giant group and I can be anonymous. It's another thing to stand out there alone by yourself with a placard saying, I oppose this idea that you are doing, or I am for that idea that you are not doing. Pause for talks. They're gonna kill these people, and everybody's gonna watch the history behind the first Black woman Supreme Court justice nominee. Man, who the amount of I don't care about this story that I have could fill a universe. Because I'm pretty sure the amount of concern she has ever had for the thing I think are important could likely not fill, you know, the mouth of an ant. It's so depressing. It's like they hacked the civil rights movement. I really do think it could. Maybe it's fucking somebody else. Maybe it's Trump. A massive heart attack for Trump. I don't know. Very weird energy going on in the American political spectrum. I really do think someone very big that we all know is going to pass away before June. I want to say the end of March, but I think before June. I don't know who it is though. But it's not like I'm going out on a limb. Everybody's like 90 years old. Oh boy, the whole world right now needs to unite. Rallies are being held across the U.S. in support of. It's Black History Month. Hold some rallies for us here in America. How about that? I'm not giving a nickel. A part of the NATO treaty could turn Russia's invasion of the Ukraine into a wider war. Yeah. Do you not know how the First World War One started? It's very simple. Tiny nations had all these. If you go to war, I'll go to war with you, right? And then this happened, and then they declared war, and then you had to send people, and but the other people had the same treaties, and they had to send people, and then before you know it, everybody's on the side of somebody, and war is every place over some bullshit, right? And the Second World War was agreement because Germany lost and was essentially treated like the West always treated losing nations, right? Look what it did to Haiti. Haiti was still paying debt to them up until a few years ago, and then uh, France forgave it. People were like, wait, that's still paying you from their revolution in the 1860s, 1880s rather. Yeah, and they waived it because everybody was like, what? And why are they still paying you? You're a tier one nation, and they're a hovel because we Europeans rigged the game a long time ago. We will see, my dog. We will see. Where is this man? Where is this thing? I'm gonna look one more time. Oh my God, we have 10 minutes. They said before 10. I mean, I figured when they say before 10, it will be here by like 4, 5, or 6, I guess. But apparently not. The whole Ukrainian resists attack on the. Yeah, they should resist. Chelsea owner Roman Abramovich says he's giving stewardship and care of the club to tribal foundations trustees. He's gonna give the club to a charity. That is awesome. That's awesome. Um, what was that play? Peter Pan, right? Peter Pan. The rights to that was given to some British orphanage or charity, and the rights were good for like until it hit the public domain, which I think it did like 25 years ago. And they wanted somebody to, because they were making money. People were making movies about Peter Pan and all this stuff, uh, and they didn't want to lose you know that money. They were charity, and they wanted someone to write a second story, right? To sort of, I don't know what they were trying to do. But yeah, now Peter Pan is in the public domain, and you can make your own Peter Pan movie, not just Disney. Uh, and as we all know, Cinderella and Hansel and Gretel, that's always been in the public because it's about 1,000 years old. So, yeah. All right. We've got 7 minutes. I'm gonna go play video games. We're gonna have a couple of test streams. I cannot get into this thing and write a tweet without going live saying, "Hey, come see me on my Twitch account," which is where's my Twitch? Oh, good lord. Oh, good lord. Here you go. You have the sign, the sacred sign. You put all that work. You paid for it. You put all that work into it. You had to hire, craftsmen, and now you can't find it. All right. Well, that is outrageous. We really do have to clean off this table. There's officially too much stuff on this table. All right. Well, I guess that'll do it. I don't know where it is. Don't know where it is. It's on this table somewhere. We're gonna attack this table. I've got my schedule that I never made a giant. Oh, sometimes I'm not happy with me. Sean Penn is going to freaking man. That guy. When was the last time he had an acting gig? See, right. First is this is how it works in all lines of work. First, I wanna be notable in my gig, right? No, first I wanna be known so I can do my gig, right? So whether you're a singer or an actor, first you get known so you can get more singing and acting gigs, right? And then you go, oh, I'm known. I want to get rich. I need to sell this album. People need to know who I am. And then you get the money, right? So now you get known and you get the money. And then eventually you have so much money, you're like, I want all the things and the stuff, and like the accolades. I want the statues and the awards, right? And that's the ladder. Not ladder like Latter, Ladder. That's the ladder. Um, we will definitely see what is up. Kiev is heightened alert. A California woman spent 13 days in jail after being mistaken for another person with the same name. Yeah, I'm not surprised. People told you that the justice system was a joke, and as long as it didn't happen to like some people, they were fine with it. Now it's so broken that it's you can't fix it, and it's sucking up everybody. Now you have to be concerned because you and your children are at risk of just stupidity and arrogance and mean spiritedness, and then being covered up or just being blatantly ignored. Right? They should fix the justice system. Over a foot of snow could fall in the northeast as winter storm affects millions. That was a day ago. Blade Runner 2049 is coming to Netflix. I used to love science. What has happened to me? Ugh, I used to love this stuff. I don't watch a lot of TV. I have yet to watch the new Witcher. Right? I don't know why. I haven't seen it. There's several other things that are supposed to be popular. But like I say on this show, right, the bullshit will fall away if you chase something worthy. And I think I do a lot less TV watching because I do more streaming and I do more gaming and I do more guitar playing. I do less TV watching, I do less whiskey drinking, and I do less late night web just running. I could tell you, I used to sit and watch it like just YouTube videos, long form videos, for like 5 hours, 6 hours every night. Like watch a documentary for like an hour on YouTube. There's a lot. Some of them are really good. Uh, Kings and Generals, where they tell you about famous battles throughout the world, and they have these really interesting animation. Yeah. So this is what I'm doing. What are you doing at 3 in the morning? Um, and playing guitar, trying not to wake up my neighbors. But man, after this, we're gonna rock out. I may have to change my name to. I need a musical name. I'm gonna have to start wearing like loud shirts, and I got to get some tattoos. I got to get a hat. Stevie Ray Vaughan had a killing ass baller hat. I know the kind I want. I think I want one of those cavalry, kind of like brim, kind of like wide, kind of like with the tassels. I have military family. I can easily get one. Um, should I wear like those? Oh, they're not so much loud, but they're a lot of patterns. They're like baggy. Sometimes they look silk, but they're like those rock and roll shirts, and they have them buttoned down to here with all the silver chains on. You know that those shirts. I don't need the silver chains. Shirts? I like these shirts. I like Henleys. Right? I can wear 1,000 Henleys. Maybe Henleys will be my thing. But yeah, I need a name. I need a hat. I need a shirt motif. I think I'm just gonna stick with blue jeans, but I could wear loud pants like what's that guy? Jimmy Buffett? Is it Jimmy Buffett? I think he wears shorts. Like stripes or polka dot like golfers, right? I need a rock and roll thing. Um I'm not gonna grow my nails, so I was gonna paint my nails. I'm gonna be very rock and roll. I'm gonna adopt. I'm telling you, I'm a so lean into this. This is the thing. When I told this story a couple of days ago, we were in junior high school and everybody wore pro cats and Converse. And one day, some kid walked in with a pair of suede sky blue Pumas, dark blue Pumas rather, with bright white laces in them. And I was just kind of like, and after that, I pestered my mom. You had to have the fly sneakers, and then you had to have pants to go with it, and then a decent shirt. Then before you know, it, you had to have a hat, and before you know it, you were that kid with like the Kangol and the fat lace open toed Adidas with the Lee jeans and the you know crisp white tee. That's the way that goes. So, but that's affectations we take on, like the walk and the what's up. Even the gay people do it, like that affectation. Oh my God, I'm gay, and right? No one does that until they're gay, right? Otherwise, you'd see like little kids doing it, and you'd be like, oh, he's obviously no. They go into that culture and they adopt some of this. Like so in the hip hop culture, the adopt thing is aggression and mean stares and all this stuff. Uh, I think the rock aesthetic will be kind of like loud pants, cool rock and roll hat. I may get some glasses. I think everybody's got to have a hat. What's that guy? So and so Junior. Oh, what is his name? I'll tell you his name right now. He's a blues guitarist. Gary Clark Jr. Gary Clark Jr. Is that his name? Yeah, he's got a ball in that. First, he's got a cool ass guitar and a ball in ass hat. Um, can we put this up? Yeah, let's put this up. We'll put this up for a little bit. So I definitely need. I'm leaning into my own kind of like. Look at this. There you go. Look at that hat. First of all, that guitar's baller. He needs to do some push-ups. But that hat is it, and I can't even grow a beard. Look at this guitar. Woo wee! I gotta get good. Look at that hat. Look at his pants. See, I think a collared shirt is where the rock godliness. See, what did I mention? All the silver chains dangling. That is a nice little guitar. What is that? Ugh. What does that say? Little. I can't even make it out. That is a nice. Look how small it is. Look how small it is. Versus this one. Look at that hat. Come on. This is a nice look too. But seriously, that hat is all we're talking about. Look at that hat. I, I Blues man. I gotta get a hat. I gotta get a hat. Look at that hat. That hat is fucking balling, completely out of control. That hat. All right, look at this. Oh my god, here's another shot. Let's look at this. Open in a new tab. That is some yellow gold he's wearing. All right. Candy, something sky. Blue, it could say blue sky or lady sky or. That's the same guitar. I'm obsessed with what kind of guitar he's playing there. Look at this one. A white hat. Ooh, look at the stank face. He got a stank face. Oh, good lord, that guitar hat is awesome. So I'm obviously gonna have to up my game and get a guitar hat. Obviously. Uh, Swag is important in this endeavor, and I'm endeavoring to have it. Why is this here? Let's close this. Boink. Let's go over here and close this and prepare to end the stream. Uh, oh wow, this is uncharged. All right, so we shall endeavor. Oh, here we go. Dang it. Sorry, guys. All right, here you go. All right, we're endeavoring to end this. Duh. Oh, good lord. It's always something. We're endeavoring. What were we endeavoring to do while I was talking to something? I've now got the word endeavoring in my head and no sentence for it. Here's another cool hat. Man, the hat game. I got to get on my hat game. Guitar game is important. Just like 12th and 13th things that's important. I got to work on my skill, chords, arpeggios. I got to work on finger dexterity, finger accuracy. I got to work on metronome stuff. Those are things I'm going to have to work on forever. So I'm good with that. But while I'm working on them, I will, you know, play these cool things and move forward. Good lord, this dude is so good. Oh, is that his wife? Yeah, that's his wife. Unless he's kissing somebody else's wife. You probably shouldn't be kissing somebody else's wife. I'm just saying. All right. All right. So that's it for us. We will see you guys tomorrow at 10 a.m. Uh, wish me luck as I'm not changing. I'm not getting a new moniker. I'm becoming a what is it when you have a persona? I'm coming up with a new persona. Who will be a bluesy jazzy journeyman, right? That's what I need, right? Some blues and some soul in my life. And it'll be fun. We'll do some of that with fancy shirts and cool hats and get into the whole thing. Maybe a scarf. I have a ton. I just rocked a ton of scarves in the old days. Uh, yeah, true. Um, yeah, this is gonna be awesome. Oh, meanwhile, the world is falling apart. Oh, Ukraine. All right. I'll see you guys tomorrow at 10 a.m. Be here or be square. If you're here, Your soul is protected for 2 weeks. I guarantee it. I have it on good authority. It's backed by the highest authority. Um, you gotta have faith in that. Come on through. And yeah, Monday, not Monday. When is the first? Good Lord, we like to start everything on the first. It's Tuesday. Tuesday, we're going to shift some things around and try and really get like an actual show going. Um, and we will start on time and have varied content for you, likely on another platform. But that's all right. Like and subscribe, and give to the heart. I cannot believe I misplaced that thing. Where is it? That is outrageous. That is outrageous. All right. I'm sorry. I will see you guys in the next one. And the next one is tomorrow. It is 8 o'clock. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Uh, it's never too late to try something new, write that story, write that book of poetry, pick up whatever instrument you used to play and stopped. You used to be in a band, started again. You know, I know it's hard and people, but you try getting the shit where the barrier to entry is low. By that I mean, oh, I want to get into motorcycle racing, but I don't have a motorcycle and I can't go to the place and all the clothes are expensive and helmet I can't afford. Maybe you know, be a chess champion, get into something small. You like chess, or if you like this, that, the other thing, like building, right? Like you whatever. You got to get in small. But once it's your hobby, you can spend money on it. I mean, look at me, I'm over here spending money. But getting small. Started with an acoustic guitar, and this is likely the whole shit that I will have for the coming years because now I've got enough to play with. Uh, it's like my camera equipment for filming. The reason why I don't film, quite frankly, is I don't have a squad of people to film. I don't have a lot of friends. And at my age group, people have kids that they're trying to send to school, and there's a pandemic, and so you're not really going to be shooting a lot of stuff unless you're shooting it by yourself. And I haven't even I've considered it, but I haven't tried it. There's a vanity thing to it. There's a embarrassment thing to it. There's a fear. So there's all these kind of things. But at the end of the day, you have to stretch your own legs. You have to do your own thing. And you have to support yourself until you get to a point where people see or hear that and go, "Hey, that's not bad. I like that." Right? And then that's positive feedback. You go, "Oh, hey, look, I'm glad I didn't stop playing the zither or you know the what are those things that they blow in Australia? The didgeridoo, right? Man, I was a didgeridoo virtuoso, and then I gave it up. Man, I could have been a rock star. Women love didgeridoo players. All right, that's it for me. I'm gonna try and get this guitar pedal system set up. Uh, I should actually just clean this table, which I should do first. Clean that table. God, don't even get me started. The stuff I should be doing. Sometimes I wish my mom lived with me because she'd walk in here and go, "No, no, you're not doing anything until you do X, Y, Z," and then it would get done. As I fussed about it, but it would get done. All right, I got love for you. You know I got love for you. I will see you in the next one. You know I will see you in the next one. Next one's tomorrow, 10 a.m. Be there. Coffee ready, guys. Be there. You know what? Before we click off, uh, 10 a.m. is 12 hours away. Is 8. So it's 14 hours. All right. Set timer for 14 hours and 20 minutes.
14 hours and 20 minutes, starting now.
I will see you guys tomorrow. That's going to go off while we're talking about, oh boy, it's really early and we're tired, and I'm glad that we're not late. Huh? 10 a.m. tomorrow. Come get your spirituality awash all over you, and you'll be set for the next week. You will be set for the next week.